Friends, in this evening session, we are revising the second poem of class 10, that is Fire and Ice by Robert Frost, and we are taking up some board questions for discussions. The very first question is: some say the world will end in the fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. The very first question is: what can be the cause of world's destruction as per these lines? As per these lines, the world will either end in fire, that is desire and passion, or the world will end in ice, that is cold and indifference, or hatred. So the world will end in two ways: either due to the growing desire and passion of the people, or due to the indifference and cold attitude of the people, the world will end so. Question number B. According to the poet, fire refers to passion and desire. The choices given is violent desire, passions, jealousy, all the three. So all of the three is the answer. Here fire refers to violent desires, passions and jealousy, all the three. What does ice symbolize? Here ice symbolizes indifference. What message does the poet want to convey? The poet wants to convey through this line that life is unpredictable, everything is transitory, and death is inevitable. These three messages the poet wants to convey through these lines: that life is short-lived, transitory, and life is short-lived, everything is transitory, life is unpredictable, and death is inevitable. So these two things, three things are being predicted in this poem. That the first thing that is being predicted in this poem is, everything is transitory, and the second thing that is being predicted in this poem is life is unpredictable. So death and destructions cannot be predicted. It can occur either in the form of natural calamity or man-made disaster. So anything can happen. Next question that has come in board exam: briefly write about the ideas about how the world will end. Yes, the world will end in two ways. The poet says the world will end either in fire or in ice. That means the world will end either due to the growing desire, jealousy, and hatred of the people. Frost introduces a more emotional side of the poem, and he associates desire with fire and hatred with ice. And thus, the poet wants to convey that this world is going to end either way, either due to the growing jealousy and desire of the people, or due to the hatred that is growing among the humanity due to the materialistic attitude of the people. So he wants to predict, he wants to say that the world is either going to end in fire, that is growing desire. All the people in the world, they are hungry of possessions, so all the living things and all the world is going to be destroyed due to the man's hunger of possessing more and more, or it will end in hatred and violence, because the people are ready to raise violence, and there is a growing hatred among man and man, among country and country, among religion and religion. So this hatred will certainly end in war, and that will kill and that will destroy this beautiful world. Another question: but if it had to perish twice, how will the world perish twice? According to the poet, the world will just get destroyed in fire, which symbolizes desire. But if the world had to end twice, then it will due to the hatred. If the world has to end end twice, then it will be just because of our growing hatred. Growing hatred is on increase nowadays. Everywhere you will find hatred between society and society, humanity and humanity. So the poet feels that there is enough hatred in this world, and that is spreading among the people. This hatred will certainly end the world in more than once. It will end the world twice, and there will be no, I mean, remains of humanity on this earth. The world will completely be disastrous and catastrophe due to the growing hatred among people and people. And that is the fear that the poet expresses in this poem. And this is the last question: why does the poet hold with those who favor fire? The poet is of the opinion that the people who are in of the opinion that the world will end in fire, because he believes that fire, that is desire and growing jealousy, are more powerful than any other factor responsible for destruction of the world. So he believes that the world will certainly end in fire, because fire means desire and growing passion and hatred and growing, I mean, greed and temptation among the people. The people have desire, greed and temptation, jealousy, and this enmity is so powerful that it can kill the whole humanity. It can destroy the whole humanity quicker. Therefore, the poet favors the opinion of those who believe that the world will end in fire, and that is what the poet wants to conclude, and just says that fire is symbolic of, fire is symbolic of desire, enmity, jealousy, and violence, whereas ice is symbolic of hatred, indifference, and growing discrimination among man and man, among people and people, society and society, and growing communal riots and growing violence in the society is in the form of coldness and ice, and therefore the world is going to end either in fire or in ice, and that is what the poet wants to convey. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.